Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Think Future with Calabucas. I'm your host, Calabucas, and once again we're coming at you live from deep in the heart of Silicon Valley, California. We're talking innovation, startups, and the future, not necessarily those, and not necessarily in that order. Now, you ever heard of that famous quote? Let's see if I can call it up here. It's all progress depends on the unreasonable man. The unreasonable man. And I think the reason why progress depends on people who are unreasonable is basically because they're unhappy with the status quo. There's something about the status quo that bothers them. There's something wrong about it. There's something incorrect about it. There's something missing. There's something that's not quite right. It doesn't fit in with their worldview. Maybe it's different from their worldview. Maybe they've expanded their worldview beyond this, and they're seeing an injustice, or they're seeing a gap, or they're seeing an empty space, or they're seeing something that could be improved, that could be bettered. They're seeing this, and they're saying to themselves, if I just go along with this, if I am just reasonable and go, yeah, I guess it's okay, then I'm just going to walk in lockstep with everybody else who thinks that all of this is just okay. And the person who's just gone along with everything that they've ever seen is never going to be able to affect change. That person is never going to dent the universe. They're never going to dent the universe because they're not unhappy enough. They're not unreasonable enough to want to affect that change. Now, I'm not saying that you should be unreasonable simply for the sake of being unreasonable. But if you look at most of the inventors in the world who've created brand new things to the world that have never existed before, Edison, Ford, Musk, all of these inventors that have created brand new things that have never been seen before, Jobs, do you think they were reasonable people? No, they weren't reasonable people at all. They saw something that was wrong. They saw something. They had an inkling. Either they invented it themselves or they saw something and there was some serendipity and they made that connection. And they saw something, and instead of just saying, oh, I guess it's okay the way it is, I guess I'm just going to use a candle. I guess I'm just going to use this ineffective electric car with a short range. I guess I'm just going to use this flip phone. I guess I'm just going to use this paper tablet. Instead of saying, I guess I'm just going to go along with what everybody else is doing and say it's okay, I'm going to say, no, I am not going to go along with everybody else is doing. I'm going to say it's not okay for me to do things this way. And I'm going to figure out a new way of doing things. Maybe it's a way that combines a number of things that have happened before, or maybe it's something completely new that has never been seen before. Because I don't like the way it is. I'm not being reasonable. And when you're not being reasonable, when you're not just falling in with the status quo, that is where the real invention comes from. That is where the real innovation comes from. That is where the real creativity comes from. When you look at something and you say, this isn't good enough. I'm not going to just fall into line and be okay with what this is. I am going to say no, and I'm going to do something else. I'm going to do something different. And I'm not going to ask permission. I'm just going to go ahead and do it. And if I go ahead and do it, and if I fail completely, that's fine. That's fine. Because I found something that didn't work. So I pivot, and I try again, and I try again, and I try again. And I try 10,000 times. And I uncover 10,000 ways in which something doesn't work. But then on my 10,000th and first try, because I'm an unreasonable person, and I'm continuing to push and push and push and push, and I'm not seeing reason, that's when the breakthrough happens. You see what I mean? You have to be unreasonable. You have to go against the status quo. You have to swim in the opposite direction. Go this way when everyone else is going that way. And maybe then you can unleash some creativity which will build something brand new that no one has ever seen before. You have to be unreasonable.